To the food more based than Boots Collins. You versus me, that's like Ali versus Foreman. God's act.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Tyler, and in today's video I have a brand new Modern Warfare Remastered gameplay in the background for you guys, as well as a life story that I've told on my channel about 2 years ago now, but I figured I'd go ahead and retell it since most of you guys probably haven't heard this story before. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the time that I ended up getting caught smoking weed by my school bus driver, and this all ended up actually happening on the way to school in the morning, like before school even started. So pretty much all started out with my friends who usually would meet me at my bus stop, and for the most part we had a thing where we would just kind of meet up there, and whoever had weed that morning we just smoked together. So in this particular day I ended up going out to the bus a little bit later than usual, but when I ended up going out to the bus stop I actually had a joint rolled up. So I walked out of my house and ended up walking like 2 blocks away over to the bus stop and meeting up with my friends who were sitting there already waiting for me. And so I get there and we're just kind of talking for a little bit, basically deciding whether or not we had time to smoke this joint. And so we all decided on the idea that we would just end up smoking it, and if the bus driver came we'll just put it out and then end up taking it when we come back from school and get off the bus on the way home. So after we all came to that conclusion we ended up just sparking up this joint and sitting there at the bus stop. And the bus stop that we ended up going to would have like tables and chairs out because it was kind of like the common area yard for this townhouse complex. So we're all sitting around this one table just smoking this joint, passing it around, waiting for the bus to come. And so we're about halfway through this joint and I end up taking my couple hits and passing it over to my friend. And pretty much immediately after I exhaled a few hits of this joint that I had, I end up seeing our school bus just coming around the corner kind of slowly, and so he was getting ready to pull up to the bus stop, so I knew like we had to get on the bus soon. So I look over at my friend who has the joint and he's starting to hit it, and I mentioned to him, I'm like, yo dude, look out, the bus is coming around the corner. And so he was kind of stoned and hesitating, and he didn't end up actually leaving the joint there, so he just puts it out on the side of the table and then completely forgets to leave it at the bus stop. So he just ends up walking onto the bus right behind me with this half-smoked joint in his hand. And at the time we were getting on the bus I didn't even realize, otherwise I would have told him to just put it down, like, what are you doing? So I end up walking onto the bus, going all the way to the back seats where I usually would sit, and just sit down and put my headphones in and I'm listening to music. And so the bus driver pulls off from the bus stop, and about 5 minutes later the kid who I ended up smoking with just peeks over the seat from in front of me and taps me on the shoulder to get my attention. And so after he does that I pull out a headphone, you know, and I'm talking to him, and he just pulls out this half-smoked joint and he goes, hey dude, what do you want me to do with this? And I just look at him like, dude, what the fuck? Did you actually just bring that onto the school bus right now? Like, are you kidding me? We can't bring this through school. What are you doing? And so he just goes, man, I didn't know what to do with it. It's your weed. I didn't want to just leave it there. I'm like, I told you to leave it there. Like, what the fuck? And so at this point we're like 3 or 4 blocks away from the bus stop. We're already on the bus and he's already got this half-smoked joint. So I'm like, dude, you gotta throw this thing out the window. We can't have this when we get to school. And as little as I wanted to give up this half-smoked joint, because I was in like 10th grade at the time, I did not want to lose it. Like, I didn't have a lot of money to buy weed. I had to make the sacrifice and just be like, dude, throw that shit out the window because we can't get caught with this at school. Like, we will all go to jail. It's so fucked. And so after a couple of minutes arguing with this kid, he just goes ahead and throws it out the window. And for the most part, the rest of the ride to school was completely normal, like nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. And so about another 10-15 minutes later, we end up pulling up to the school, getting out to where the bus drop-off zone is. And since we were in the last few seats of the bus, you know, obviously we're some of the last people to get off of the bus. So once everybody else gets off the bus and they're kind of walking out, you know, we're the last in line to leave. So we're walking out and the bus driver ends up stopping me and the other 2 kids who I was with. And she just tells us like, hey, you guys gotta hold on for a minute. And she pulls up like 25 feet up ahead. And so at this point I'm just kind of bugging out like, oh shit, I'm about to get in so much trouble. Like, I know I smell like weed. What the fuck is about to happen here? And I'm like panicking. But I was trying as hard as I could to not show it in my face or like in my emotion that I was nervous, because I didn't want to get in more trouble and make it seem like I was more scared than I really was. So after she ends up pulling up around 15-20 feet up ahead of the school, she starts talking to us like, hey, I know you guys are smoking weed. This whole fucking bus smells like weed. You guys have given me a contact high up here driving the bus. And after she said we gave her a contact high, we were just like laughing hard as fuck. And then she says to us, you know you guys can't go into that school smelling like weed. They're gonna immediately stop and search you and you're all gonna get in trouble. And so we were all like, yeah, we know we can't go in there smelling like weed. Like, we have to go to school though, whatever. And for the most part she was pretty much just like, yeah, you guys are good, but don't ever come on this bus smelling like weed like that again, because if you guys do, I'm gonna end up having to report you to the principal and like all this shit. But for the most part I was just really happy that she was chill and like kind of let us get away with it for the most part. And for the most part I was really happy that she was just chill and let us get away with it. Like, she never ended up actually telling any of the school people or like anybody like that. So none of us really ended up getting in trouble for it, but it was such a spooky and scary experience, and I figured it was something you guys would like to hear on my channel. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed today's video, or if you guys have a similar story to this one, let me know down below in the comment section or by leaving a like on this video. And if you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. The link's down below in the description. But anyways, thanks again so much for watching today's life story. You guys know I love each and every one of you. I'm out. Peace.
I got more keys than Alicia. These niggas be fucking police. 12. I took your hoe, then released her. I used to trap out a Regal. 200,000 on my wrist. I thought it all was a fantasy. 200,000 on my wrist. Lord, I hope it don't vanish. 200,000 on my wrist.